Greetings from the third world. Pomp Master in the house. This is the second part of a two-part series, so please go and check out part 1. I'll have it annotated and in the end card for you if you manage to sit through my daily stimming session. But for the loyalists, those who are waging war beside me, let's pick up where we left off. Some throwaways from Finally Lost are archived as the Lost files. The sound choices are more or less the same, but 2 Lost is so much more aggressive than everything else. It might actually be his most malicious song, before the 8-bit loops kick in and the beat doesn't mirror his lyrics anymore. It's actually an interesting juxtaposition to have someone vent about their isolation and homicidal thoughts over something that would be at home in a side-scrolling adventure game. 2HOLLIS featuring Finn Sigil also has a few interesting production quirks. The hats and the piercing synths that phase in and out of the intro give a degree of uniqueness to the song, but it still fits into the 2HOLLIS canon seamlessly. And at long last, we've reached my favorite project, White Tiger. You're immediately transported into a sonic wormhole of electronic whirring as Hollis croons in the background ethereally. It's almost like traveling through a portal that drops you right smack dab in the middle of an ice storm, because the very next track is King of the Darkness, and if you watched my Starboy video, you know how fond I am of that song. If you haven't already, please, I'm begging you to go and watch the music video for King of the Darkness, because the scales were shed from my eyes the very first time that I saw it. This song, I mean, it always makes me feel like DJ Khaled in the backseat. I Do wears its EDM inspiration on its sleeve, and it's so welcome. It's another song that I've nearly rolled my car to and banged out multiple sets in the gym to on repeat. Acts as a hype track with repetitive hooks and harsh vocals. The repeated preceding the haunting synth leads and the oppressive percussion at the end of the song make this feel like a dark masterpiece. This for sure a Bruce Wayne song. It sounds like bass jumping off of the Cologne Cathedral. I don't know how to feel about the outro, because it's the background music from Castlevania. White Tiger, the track, doesn't rewrite the script, but the lyrics sound like Hollis in the midst of a trip confronting his shadow self before coming to the realization that he needs to forge ahead undeterred. Same. The drums mirror the shamanic feel about midway through, almost like it's providing a rhythm to assist in navigating the experience. I just realized when I was changing something on my PC, the fucking microphone found itself to my chin, and now I feel like Leafy, like I'm trying to hide my face. I actually have a jawline. It's not like, you know, it's fine, it's okay. But anyways, enough about looks maxing. So The Light, which is what I'm going to call it for short, is a beautiful modern day symphony with more of the ethereal crooning from the intro song making an appearance, and I'm always happy to hear it. We need more of that, please, Hollis. We need more. It supports the theory I had for White Tiger, because the light is clearly symbolic of an enlightened state and the turmoil of White Tiger precedes it, so it's almost as though a breakthrough has occurred. Raise is clearly a Salem-inspired track, which Hollis has also cited as one of his inspirations, and this song wouldn't be amiss on the Fires in Heaven album. The track perfectly transitions into Safety, which a friend and I have bonded over on numerous late-night drives. It's also cool that Safety has a video, because it is one of the standout tracks on the album that deserves one. And one last quick dose of what I think is the golden era of esoteric Hollis with I Always Questioned It, which acts as like a closing track for the album. Some of the lyrics are references to Norse mythology, obviously. You know, we have the scar on my right eye put me in the sky man, which is obviously an interpretation of Odin. Can I speak English? Do I speak English? But yeah, it's clearly an interpretation of Odin gouging out his eye as a sacrifice to Mimir to drink of his well. And the next line, switching up the climate, may be an allusion to Thor the god of thunder conjuring storms. Maybe that's a reach, maybe it's accurate. And with that, we wave goodbye to the esotericism and medieval trip reports, and we step into an introspective and vague EDM era. 2 is my second favorite project by Hollis, starting with All 2s introducing us to the shift in sound and presentation before we land on Poster Boy, which is a fan favorite, even being featured on EA's FC24, and it's a track I love personally. I've also personally made the choice to trash the ploy and turn myself into a poster boy. The transition between Trust and Forfeit is enough to make me cry. Forfeit has a music video, and I forged such pleasant memories to the song already. I think this is the key moment where Hollis solidified his new sound and where I essentially synced up with it. Nothing to Lose is a certified hood classic along with Blackbirds and Fame Runner, all of which would sound perfectly at home in a Tron reboot score. To You is more of a love ballad, and I have an emotional bond with the song, man. A trauma bond, even. Words of advice, lads, never go back. You lived for a reason, never go back. Honestly, this song and It Will Never Be the Same share that space in my mind. Plaster is more fun and it's more of a club banger. Hollis explains that he destroyed a car, relatable, that he's addicted to a woman that he knows is bad news, and he's putting on an act to stay by her side, also very relatable. And the breakdown closing off the track is just pure magic. Speaking of poor relationships with women, It Will Never Be the Same is a song that I personally love, but it has the lowest number of plays on the project. It might be because the probably predominantly male fan base that 2HOLLIS has amassed are uncomfortable with getting in touch with their emotions to 2HOLLIS crooning in the background like a My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy vocal sample. I'm not one of those people, man. The last 2 minutes of the song spike my estrogen each and every single time. All I have to say is I guess she really is the one that gets away. Next we have what may be his most mainstream appealing sound by the release date of August 2023, the EP containing Whiplash and Cliche. Both are spring-summer preppy pop songs, both sport over 1 million plays, and both have a very Martin Solveig indie sleaze feel to them. At this point he's mastered his sound and he's primed for takeoff, which is exactly what's happened. Then we have the single Jeans, sporting a goofy air music video. The song itself is very good though. It's got a lot of hardstyle inspiration, and as far as I can see it's his most popular song so far. It's almost like he made it for club play or to start trending on TikTok or for mainstream appeal intentionally. And on the final LP, we encounter what may be the most mature version of Hollis we've ever heard, with him stating that the 13 tracks on the project act as a reflection of him, using his laptop as the only means of communication. The opening track is straight from the score of a cinematic masterpiece and massages your ears lovingly like a woman that says she loves you for you and actually means it. It's a sonic translation of what the album cover feels like, embracing the open air, admiring God's creation in all its beauty and splendor before you're struck by the scope of creation itself. And now you're having to reconcile your existence with the forces of nature over a Porter Robinson-esque backing track about midway through. It's just beautiful. Sister is also a very beautiful song, but as a good friend of mine said, I hope this motherfucker not serious with that analogy. Crush is another high-paced, hardstyle-inspired banger with an interesting music video, and it is actually a single, but it's definitely geared towards getting some placements in sports and racing games. I Saw It Flash Before Me is what I'm currently wearing my tires onto, and it's reminiscent of an era of Hollis long past. Teenage Soldiers also has some White Tiger DNA in it, crossbred with some 2, and no, I do not in fact think that this is a game. In fact, I recognize that you are very fucking serious, deadly serious. I wish I were half as serious. This is literally society if I were half as serious as 2HOLLIS. Skrillex's influence makes an appearance on 3 with a vibrant dubstep opening. The break took me straight back to Modern Warfare 2 MLG compilations before it transitioned so beautifully into one of my favorite tracks on the project, that being Light, which is reminiscent of early 2010s EDM in the best way possible. Staggered, layered production, androgynous adlibs, and pop sensation level vocals, all grabbing your attention and refusing to allow you to break ear contact. Now, to wrap this shit up, because we've both been here for way too fucking long, we have 2 singles. We have Trauma, released in July of this year, which is an insane, tasteful single blending Hollis's most recent production choices and style with a kick-ass video to boot, and every time I hear it I go like full techno Viking. And secondly, Gold released in October of this year, which is more of the same with a slick verse and an impressive vocal delivery. But what's even more impressive is the amount of plays that these songs have amassed relative to the amount of time that they've been out for. I mean, they're both closing in on 6 million plays, and Gold has literally only been out for 2 months. A lot of this recent growth is probably due to going on tour with Ken Carson and getting a little more mainstream exposure via TikTok memes. But yeah, that's all that I have to say regarding Mr. Hollis Frazier Herndon. Rumor has it he's producing for Cardi now after the Ken tour, but we shall wait and see what the future has in store. Thank you for coming along for the ride, and I'm glad that you've made it all the way through to the end. I owe you some good noggin. Much love, and die well.